Hello there. Good to see you here. Good to see you here in my living room, night after night. Let me post a link. Cryptopolis. Then we'll get started. Wait, where are the comments? Where did I put this goddamn comment section? Oh boy, I'm already behind. Sorry guys, if anybody's talking to me, I don't have the comments popped out. And of course, everything takes for goddamn ever when I'm streaming. So I got like hamsters on a wheel in this MacBook. So I will be with you in a moment. How about that? Here we go. If you're talking to me, okay, now I just got the comments launched. Sorry. This is a very unprofessional stream, I have to admit. I'm tired, honestly. It's kind of a long day. Tired, worn out. Listening to royalty-free music. It's enough to exhaust a person. Okay. So we're looking at, let's look at Bitcoin first. Hey Pacific. Oh, Ethereum Classic is crashing? Let's take a look. What's going on? I actually haven't been following ETC that closely. Let's look. Are you holding it, Pacific? Please tell me that 225 Pacific Ocean isn't your address. Also, can you tell me if I have my address like on Periscope? Can you see where I'm located on Periscope right now? So Bitcoin will still be around in 5 years? Yeah, I personally will think so. Like some people, okay, so I don't have my address on Periscope Pacific Ocean. Some people think that it won't. Some people think that Bitcoin is essentially like the MySpace, and that like there's gonna be something else that becomes like the Friendster. Thanks, Couscous. So we're looking at Ethereum Classic on the weekly. That's not a huge dumpster right there. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, I mean, look, it still wants to complete this edge to edge here. This flat line here at the edge of the cloud basically is sort of like a magnet that wants to like pull it to the edge of the cloud. So this would actually be a great place to enter, I would say. Do you guys know why it dumped? Like, is there any like news or anything like that, or is it just kind of like market doing its thing? I mean, it was forming this sort of like rising wedge here. And a rising wedge is always, not always, but like it's often going to like precipitate a dump. I mean, this isn't exactly a rising wedge. I'm just kind of like eyeballing it. But I actually think that this might be a good entry for Ethereum Classic here. Let's look at it on the 3-day. So Pacific, are you holding it, or like what's your interest here? Because look, it might be entering another edge to edge here, and if it does that, that's huge. Most coins are crashing, right? So given that, I wouldn't worry about this, honestly. I think this is going to recover, especially given the Coinbase listing. And I think that like these are like excellent red candles for you to get an entry on. It might not be ready yet. Like this looks like it's still going down on the 3-day. So I would actually wait to get your entry here. Let me see if I can give you like a target. So you're not holding it, you're interested in buying it, is that right? Yeah, we've got a little bit further down to go on Ethereum Classic, so you'll get a better entry than this. So I would say try to get this 0.00242 level. Oh, so you're saying you're not holding a single coin? Is that what you're saying, Pacific Ocean? I think you can get an entry like here. I think 0.00241, something like that. Okay, actually, let's look at it on the squid. That's my new template that I'm sort of just still learning. 13 USD seems like a safe number for ETC. You know what? I'm not looking. I'm actually charting it on Bitcoin, but I'll be happy to chart it on USD too. Okay, let's look at USD. Yeah, I mean, if you can get 13, then like, yes. I mean, we'll see if you get it. I mean, the squid is not telling us to enter long yet, and And the 3 days is saying it's still going to be bearish for a little while, so. But here on the VPVR, like after 13, it's basically like. Yeah, I would say 13 is actually probably your target here. You're right about that, Pacific Ocean. Okay, good job. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin. It was incredibly hot today in Los Angeles, so, and I was outside most of the day, so like if I just seem kind of like worn out and exhausted, that's why. It's nothing against you guys. I truly am worn out and exhausted from being outside and having like, I don't do well in the heat, you know, like I'm very like heat sensitive. I'm actually just a very sensitive person. I am an artiste. So like, I'm just, you know, I'm a delicate flower. I have to be treated delicately, gingerly. Not be left out in the sun to wilt like a commoner. Alright, this is Bitcoin on the 3-day. Everybody's pretty bearish right now. The sentiment feels like it's pretty bearish right now. And I like to trade against sentiment. And you guys feel free to like jump in if you disagree. Like I said, I'm still learning this template. It's like awesome squid thing. Hi, Ether Rich. Buy when it goes below 5K. Well, yeah, I mean, you and like literally everybody else wants to do that. So, good luck. I mean, everybody is like watching that 5K level. That's sort of like 4.9, 4.8 level, and like, you know, everyone has that same plan. There's going to be like a stampede to buy there. Bitcoin seems like it's repeating the 2013 crash. Well, I don't know if I agree with that. There's a theory that during bear markets, Bitcoin drops to its production cost value. So you're saying it's mining cost? What would you say the mining cost is? Because I've heard anywhere from like, you know, 6,000 to 1,500. Like, it's kind of difficult to like come up with like the true number, considering that electricity is like vastly different. You know, the cost of equipment is vastly different. The cost of like you know, Bitcoin is mainly mined by corporations now, and so like their overhead can be very different. You know, depending on whether they're mining in like China or, you know, some godforsaken place. I mean, I actually saw, but I agree. But it seems like the number is probably between 4 and 6K. I actually saw this chart, which I think I saved somewhere, where it said like the cost to mine a Bitcoin in every country in the world, and the numbers were like vastly different. Like the cost to mine a Bitcoin in China is like very different from the cost to mine a Bitcoin in the United States. So it's really hard to sort of definitively say like, oh, this is how much it costs to mine a Bitcoin. I mean, you could sort of like average those out or like find a median or something. So it looks like the squid on the 3-day wants to go up from here. I know that everybody's saying like, oh, down, 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 but I think the squid disagrees. So I think there's a good chance we will dip to the 5K in Bitcoin, even if it's only for a day. Put those limit orders in. Well, like I shared on a previous stream what I think is going to happen. Here, when... Well, now the charts that I shared are like far back in my Discord, but I basically think that we're going to have this like prolonged down/sideways movement. Bitcoin will never hit zero, supposedly they say, because some people lost their wallets. That's actually a good point, Pacific Ocean. I think, you know, and I called this like, for one thing, I called 5K in January. And I have a screenshot of that. And second of all, I've been, for like literally like 3 to 4 months now, I've been calling like a prolonged downward/sideways momentum all the way through the summer and into like the early fall. And then I think we're going to have like another like mini hockey stick going up into like November, December, so that like the funds can show profit on their books. Etherich says, let's look at the 2013 crash of Bitcoin and compare it to what we have now. But first, I want to make a call on what Bitcoin is going to do right now, and then we'll do that. This royalty-free music is terrible. What can I do about this problem? So yeah, maybe a little bit more down on the daily, but not much. And then we're going up on the 3-day. I'm saying on Bitcoin. Yeah, more down on the daily. I would say to possibly like maybe here, maybe this level, like 61.95, or like I got into cryptocurrency 14 months ago. Somewhere in the 61 range, I think we're going to. You know, it might wick down to like 6,000. And then I think we go up from there. Okay, so you guys wanted to look at like 2013 and compare it to now. Let's see. Trying to like zoom it out so the chart is more visible. I mean, actually, it would be better if, could you guys link me to like a, you know, there's plenty of side-by-side chart comparisons online. Like, why don't you guys link me to one of those so I don't have to do this like while I'm streaming live? Etherich, could you just like look up one of those like on Twitter, where it just like compares like the 2013 crash to like what we're in now? And just like post it in chat so we could pull it up, because this is like not that efficient for me to just sit here and do this live on stream. And then meanwhile, I can look at some of the other coins that I put in the title while you're looking for that. How about that? Because this is 16 here. Try coin market cap. To chart on? No thanks. Okay, so this is basically the 2013 crash here. So from this tweezer top on the weekly, it wicked all the way down to 90% drawdown. 90, yeah, approximately 90% drawdown. So we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten to 90% drawdown yet. I do think we haven't seen the bottom yet. Oh, thank you, Etherich. Thanks so much, Etherich. I knew you'd be able to find it. God, it's so hot in LA. I'm like sweating. Oh, you made it?
Back to paradise.
This place is ready for the most incredible party of all time. Life is short. The world is wide. I want to make some memories. May the rest of our lives be the best of our lives. My soulmate absolutely calm.
But so I was looking for something that compares like this chart. You know how on Twitter you always see like the side-by-sides? No, I don't need the volume bars, but like, you know how on Twitter they show like the side-by-side comparison of like the 2013 crash and then this crash? That's what I was looking for. Let me just see if I can find it. Comparison of 2013 and 2018 Bitcoin. How about that? Let's see what we come up with. So here's one. Okay, sometimes my handoff doesn't work on my phone, so let's see if I can get this to work. So annoying. Basically killed my computer. How about a log chart? Okay, but I mean, I don't think it'll make much of a difference because I'm looking for like a comparison. You know, I don't. Oh, it shows them both in the same pic? Awesome, thank you. All right, like I said, it takes, you know, when my computer is streaming, it just like takes forever to load anything. It's really annoying. Wait, this is the comparison? I don't see the comparison. Okay, so here the green line is 11/30/2013. Oh, you think I need a streaming computer? I actually probably do, honestly. Okay. So this thing must have been done on November 12th, 2017. Obviously, like, we know what's coming here, right? The green is the 2013 crash. But this is already interesting because it compares 2011, 2013, another 2013. Hey DV, yeah, Julie Coin needs to get invented like ASAP. We're trying to find an image that compares the 2013 crash with the 2018 crash, and we can't seem to, like, I feel like they're all over Twitter. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble like finding one. I guess like they're not like labeled on SEO like. Okay, Etherish, feel free to like link me, if you just like lay the two charts next to each other. Okay. So you honestly think this is going to like 1650? There's no fucking way, man. I mean, I guess I'm just curious, like, what are you basing that off of? Just because of the drawdown from 2013? Is that what you're basing that off of? Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly believe in fractals. For one thing, the amount that the market has grown since 2013 is like literally exponential. Second of all, this music is so annoying. Jesus. Second of all, not just in terms of like the minds of the public, like retail investors, but also in terms of like institutional investors just like itching to get in off the sidelines. Like everybody who watched, the run up to 20K, like, people, it didn't like completely scare people off. Like people are like watching, just like you said, like, you're watching for it to like go below 5K, and then like people are like waiting to jump in at that level. The idea that like any of a number of players would let this go to like 23K is laughable, honestly. I'm not saying that like, you're bad at TA or that I don't, there's no bad ideas here on this stream. Like I'm not saying like don't share your ideas, but I guess maybe I'm trying to reassure you that like there's no possible way. Like I said, I called 5K in January, and everybody thought I was crazy, and people were basically like, neck yourself, because we were, much higher, and I was like, I'm looking at the weekly, and I think I see a path to 5K here, and no one believed me, essentially. And so now I feel like 5K is much more realistic. I mean, honestly, we kind of already hit it when we hit like 5.7, but look, I mean, maybe you're right. Like, I'm not trying to say that, like, I'm 100% right always, and, like, I just don't see it. Like, but I appreciate you creating this chart so that we could, like, compare it. And I do think that we've got a lot more sideways and downward pressure to go. Someone has liquidated their home when BTC was still at a couple K. What do you mean someone has liquidated their home when BTC was still at a couple K? I don't know what you mean by that. There's also this thing here, which is that, like, literally at the level that we're at and a little bit below the level that we're at, like, it's almost like we can't get below this level. Like, we're trying to get below this level, and, like, the price just, like, it's, you know, I don't know if it's the plunge protection team, which is basically, like, you know, the big players who have, like, a lot at stake in keeping the price up. You know, I don't know if it's their buying pressure or, like, them manipulating the price or whatever it is. Like, look at this. Like, we wicked down here. Let's get this bigger. I mean, this is a very strong level here at, like, you know, the kind of, like, 5.7 to 6.3 area here. It's like it keeps trying to get below it, and it's hard. It's like really hard to get below it. Do you think 3K is possible? You know, anything is possible. Do I think it's likely? No. Do I think 4.9 is likely? Yeah, I think we may wick to 4.9. I think that's actually probable. Do I think it'll stay there for longer than like an hour or two? No. Yeah, like DV said, imagine letting it dump to 1K. Wait, are you joshing me, DV? I mean, I first bought it like 1.5. Like, I remember that. Like, I'm just saying that, like, there seems to be buying pressure around that, like, doesn't seem to want to let us get anywhere near that now. I mean, like, 1K. I just don't see it. Like I said, maybe I could be wrong. I'm not, like, you know, all-knowing. Just gonna look at something. So, from here to 1K would be... So that would be a 95% drawdown. I don't know. I mean, you know, so maybe it is possible. Maybe it just seems like so, like, hard to, like, fathom, like, wrap your mind around. I mean, it's realistically hard with all the money in right now. Bought it around 900 myself. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing that I find it hard to imagine would let that happen is like I said, the plunge protection team, namely, like, the, you know, there's a number of crypto corporations that are valued at over $1 billion now. Like, do you think they would let the price get that low? Like, there are hedge funds on the side. There are, you know, banks on the side. Situations change, but right now it's looking above 4K. Yeah, I'm calling for, like, 4.9, maybe wick to 4.8. I'm calling for that to be the, like, bottom. Thoughts on OMG? Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts, but let's look at the chart. Let's see what's going on with this thing. OMG is one of those coins from, like, last year that I sort of feel like should be bigger now than it is, and I feel like they're having this, like, failure to launch thing where they just don't seem to be doing as well as they should be, especially, like they've got such good fundamentals between, like, Vitalik, between, like, them being, like, a layer 2 scaling solution, you know, Plasma, Ethereum, you know, they're gonna like help Ethereum do what it does, like better. Like this coin should be like out of this world. Like, and the fact that it's not, um, to me is like, no, I've never heard of Packcoin. Packcoin? Never heard of that. The fact that OMG chart looks like this, like, that's a big problem to me. Like, I think the chart should look a lot better than this, honestly. And yeah, I know Plasma is launching. So given that Plasma is launching next month, why does the chart look like this? Like, that sucks, man. I remember when OMG came out, was skeptical until they pasted an image of Vitalik. Hey, Gene Milder, welcome to a member of our Discord. Good to see you here. And Candy Treasure is also a member of our Discord. Sorry that I keep doxing you. I hope you don't mind, Candy Treasure. I keep saying your initials. So the fact is, like OMG has all this stuff going for it, and like their chart still looks like this. Like, really? Like, I just feel like and don't get me wrong, like a lot of people that I trust as like really good traders and investors like love OMG and think it's like one of the only like long-term holds. So, you know, I might be in the minority opinion here, but I just sort of feel like there's something about OMG that it feels like they're just kind of like sucking at. Like, I think it's like kind of like a narrative thing. It's like they're not succeeding at like selling their story. They don't seem to be good at like communicate. You know, I think they're doing that classic mistake that a lot of developers in crypto do, which is they think that like having all the tech in the world is like all they need, and they don't really think marketing is that important. Like, they can just like slap an Apple sticker on a skateboard and like post a picture of that on their Twitter and like, oh, that's it. You know, like, we got a meme. Like, that's all we need. Meanwhile, their chart looks like this, and it's just kind of like, really? Like, let's look at the Ishimoku in this. I mean, it's got a possible like C clamp here, which could be a sign of reversal. Still, this is a very bearish chart. Let's look at our squid. I'm trying to learn it. So the squid says that it actually wants to go up from here, I think, on the daily. So that's good. Like, finally, after this like giant falling wedge, you know, like it's finally maybe gonna break this thing. It's basically getting suppressed, not accumulated. As soon as that dump line flat out, as soon as that dump line flat out, it's a solid entry. I think there was a typo in there, so I don't quite understand what you're saying. It's basically getting suppressed, not accumulated. As soon as that dump line flattens out as a solid entry. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that, DV. That so why do you think it's being suppressed, like rather than accumulated? Like, what is the, like, is there sort of like a story around this that I don't know about? Like, are there big whales on this coin that like basically just like control the price and like everyone knows it but me? I don't know, like everyone else but me likes OMG, and I just sort of like, there's something about it that spooks me. Maybe it's because like early on I lost some money on it or something. Like, I don't like it. I mean, I'm probably wrong on this. It's probably gonna go. It reminds me of Zcash actually. Zcash too is one of those where like, you know, it has solid technology, and yet like there's something about the coin that just like can't seem to get it together. You know, it's just like spooks me. Okay, let's look at Ion.
People used to think if you sailed on from there, you'd fall off the edge of the world. That sounds like the place for me.
On July 20th, Mama Mia invites you
Go and do everything.
So this looks like
to paradise.
I think we should do something
it's calling for a big move. Ion is, I think,
I met a man.
the 3-day.
What kind of holiday is this? Mamma Mia.
PG-13.
This whole place is
Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters July 20th.
Oh, it's how you see it. I don't know much about OMG. Could be wrong. No, I mean like, it's really hard to explain that. You know, like I wouldn't really call what we were just looking at on OMG as like a falling wedge. Like it just sort of was more just like a bleeding out. Like, wouldn't you agree? Like, I should start doing more drawing, and so I could like. What I really need to do is get a mouse and like, but I don't know what kind of mouse I could like use on my sofa. You know, like don't most mouses need like a flat surface to like move on? I mean, I have like a linen sofa, so maybe I could use a mouse on my sofa. But I would be able to do more like drawing of like triangles and stuff if I had a mouse and not just this like trackpad. What do you think about this ion chart, DV? Yeah, maybe a laser mouse. That's a good idea. I've actually never owned a mouse before, like ever, my entire life. So this will be like the first time I will have bought a mouse just for the purpose of like drawing lines on charts for you guys. So this stream will be costing me money. Not only will I not be making a dime on this goddamn stream, I will literally be like spending money for this dumb thing. It's always hard for me to chart these coins that are so like look like that essentially. Yeah, Ion might be getting ready. I don't know if it's there yet, though. Let's just keep an eye on it, okay? Mouse is a great tool, but you know, you can understand that like I'm a writer by profession, so like I've you know, that's never been something that like I needed. Like I need like laptops, you know, because I type. I don't do a lot of other stuff besides just typing on my computer. So like I don't need a mouse. But really, this has been the first time in my life that I've actually thought to myself, you know what, I could use a mouse because like I need it for like charting and stuff, and really for just on stream. Like I don't particularly need it for myself, but just for charting for you guys, I might get one. Okay, let's look at Tron. And then if you guys have any other questions, I'll answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to go to bed after Tron. I am exhausted. The sun is just like worn me out, man. So Tron, I think, is getting ready to go. Like, we've hit support here. Like, it might, yeah, Ion, exactly. I don't think it's ready yet. Tron could have a little bit further down to go, like, could go down to this, like, 428 level here. But this is basically a falling wedge here, I think. And tell me if you disagree, DB, or anybody else. Here, we'll do a little drawing, just since you guys love it so. Something like that. Yeah, I think Tron could be a good little breakout here pretty soon. What do you think, DV? Okay, does anybody else have any other questions for like, oh, we didn't talk about the ETF. So do you guys really think that this ETF is going to go through? Like, I guess on August 10th, they're going to rule, like the SEC is going to like come down and say like either way, like whether they're going to let the Bitcoin ETF go through. Like, what do you guys think? Like, I think that, oh, insert cup and handle meme. You think this is a cup and handle? You think this is a giant cup and handle right here? Jesus, if so, that would be enormous. I didn't think cup and handles could be that big. I mean, if that's a giant cup and handle, I say buy the shit out of this. And then what would this be? Like another like a mini cup and handle? Yeah. Yeah, now but Twitter would probably say it is. Exactly. Yeah, exactly, DV. Twitter loves its like patterns and its bullshit. They're always on their bullshit. Always on their bullshit. But about the ETF, like I feel like we've been faked out about this ETF thing so many times. Like I just like it's like I can't believe anymore. You know, it's like I was seeing somebody else say today like, oh, like I'm gonna be buying the shit, you know, I'm gonna be like buying so much Bitcoin on August 1st or something, you know, in time for like, you know, the ETF announcement on August 10th. And I was sort of like, really? Like, you know, you're sort of like a kid who still believes in Santa Claus or something. Like, how can you still take this shit seriously? For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, like, you know, they filed it, you know, the various powers that be have filed for approval, like SEC approval for Bitcoin ETFs, like again and again and again. It's gotten denied again and again and again. And so finally, like, who was it? Was it Coinbase filed for yet again, like yet another one? And people are all like, oh, this time it's gonna go through. This time it's gonna go through. And it's like yet another meme. It's I feel like people are so desperate to like find memes to like prop up the Bitcoin price that, you know, first it was like, oh, the Wall Street bonuses are gonna like kick up the price, and then it's like, oh, the tax returns are gonna kick up the price, and now it's like, oh, the institutional investors, and now it's, you know, it's the ETF, they're gonna approve the ETF, and then we're gonna go to the moon, and we're all gonna be rich again, and, you know, it's like the magical thinking and the reality denying capacity is just like, it's, as a writer, it's frankly fascinating. It's like something that it's like a gift, frankly. Somebody who's writing about the space, like, you know, in a film, like, it's really a treasure. It's a treasure to watch and to dramatize in screen form. Okay, it doesn't seem like anybody has any comments on the ETF, but I will add that one of the most famous scalpers in BitMEX Trollbox history is named ETF Denied Bot, and he named himself after, like, in like 2016 or like early 2017, like, you know, the first or second time we got denied the ETF. So it's like, this has been a meme, like, again and again, like, you know, we keep getting denied our right to a Bitcoin ETF. So keep hoping, guys, keep hope alive. It's charming, frankly. It's like a child, like, you know. I was about to say something really dark, but I stopped myself. Yeah, it's a bag holder excuse unless there's some real thing going on. It's just going to be a pump and dump. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things I try to teach again and again on my stream, is that, like, the key to this whole game is to not play the actual news or like the fundamentals or like the technology. That's not what we're doing here. Like, no. Like, that's way too naive and innocent, and that's like, you know, the kid holding their like empty Christmas stocking on Christmas morning, and meanwhile dad left, you know, a week ago and he's never coming back. The key to succeeding in this game is to play the other players in the market, is to anticipate, like, oh, look at all these dummies, like, they're sitting around on these like Twitch comments, and they're, you know, sitting on Twitter being like, oh, the ETF, it's going to be approved on August 10th, so I'm going to be buying the shit out of, you know, Bitcoin on August 1st because, like, we're going to go to the moon once the ETF is approved. And you have to sort of, like, know that, like, that's the level of thinking that's going on here in the market, and to know that, like, those are your, like, you know, your market participants, those are, like, the people you're playing against in this tennis match. Did I invest in Bitcoin? You betcha I did, Mike. Anyway, so I was saying that, like, you have to sort of, like, game the other players in your market and know that, like, that's how they're going to be thinking about this ETF thing. Like, you and I both know that this ETF thing, you know, it's going to be like Lucy in the football, where we're just going to, like, be, like, you know, jerked off again and again. It's basically like an edging. The SEC is edging us, and it's taking years, honestly. But you have to remember that, like, it's okay that, like, this ETF thing is never going to, like, complete, if you will, because we can play the other players in the market who think it's going to, like, actually come through, and they're going to be like, oh, we're gonna moon, and so then, like, you can, you know, put in your longs, dump on these idiots, walk out with your profits, and, you know, put them into pre-sales, or, like, you know, put them into, like, you know, I don't know, alts, Tron over here, you know, whatever you want, really. I'm just trying to teach you guys, like, what I've learned after getting dumped on myself many a time by more experienced professionals. Why does this keep going off of log chart? I keep putting it on log and it keeps going off log. I have no idea why that happens. Okay. Thank you guys for listening to my hot, sweaty stream that I'm, like, barely have the, like, focus or attention for. I think I'm gonna call it here. The market has been down lately. Mighty Mikey, that's the understatement of the century. Thanks. Oh, you lost money these past few days. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, honestly. Stick around, kid. Maybe you'll make it up. Okay, I'm gonna call the stream here. Pretty tired. I just want to go to bed, honestly. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow night. Will it go back up? Why don't you watch the stream again from the top, and I talk about like what I see the market doing. Basically, I think we're going to do like a prolonged like down sideways movement through the summer into the early fall, and then I do think that we're going to do like another like little hockey stick movement in November, December. Mighty Mike. That's just my personal opinion, because I think that the funds need to show profit by the end of the year. Have a good night, DV. I really appreciate you coming to like support me like this, because streaming is hard, honestly, and it's even harder when like you're sort of talking to yourself. So like your support here really means a lot to me. It honestly does. I'm not meaning here. Okay, thank you guys. Love you guys, and good night. Bye.